In the primordial darkness before dawn, when the world was young and mortals huddled in caves like frightened beasts, a single act of defiance would shake the very foundations of Olympus. Prometheus, the Titan whose name meant forethought, gazed upon the suffering of humanity with eyes that burned with compassion. Below him, men shivered in the cold, their primitive lives barely distinguishable from those of wild animals. "They deserve more," whispered Prometheus to the wind, his voice carrying across the void between earth and sky. "They deserve the gift that separates gods from beasts." With stealth born of divine cunning, Prometheus ascended to the sacred forge of Hephaestus, where the eternal flame danced in perpetual splendor. No mortal hand had ever touched this fire, no earthly vessel had ever contained its power. Yet Prometheus, driven by love for humanity, stole a burning ember and carried it down to the world below. The moment mortals received fire, civilization blazed to life. Cities rose from barren plains, art flourished in grateful hands, and knowledge spread like wildfire through the generations. But in the golden halls of Olympus, Zeus felt the theft like a dagger to his heart. "Betrayer!" The thunder god's voice shook the cosmos, his rage echoing through every realm of existence. "You have upset the natural order, Prometheus. You have given mortals the power of gods." Zeus paced the marble floors of his palace, each footstep creating tremors that rippled through the mountain. His eagle eyes blazed with fury as he contemplated his revenge. The other gods watched in fearful silence, knowing that their king's wrath, once kindled, burned with the intensity of 1,000 suns. "Prometheus must be punished," Zeus declared, his voice like rolling thunder. "But mere torment of the Titan is not enough. Humanity must learn that defying the gods carries a price beyond imagination." Athena, goddess of wisdom, dared to speak. "What punishment would satisfy your justice, Father?" A terrible smile crossed Zeus's lips. "I shall give mortals a gift they cannot refuse, one that will bring them more sorrow than they ever knew in their caves. Hephaestus, come forth." The smith god limped forward, his massive frame bent with anticipation. "What would you have me forge, my lord?" "Not metal or stone," Zeus replied, his eyes gleaming with malevolent inspiration. "Clay. Fashion from clay a woman, the first woman, more beautiful than any mortal has ever seen. Make her irresistible, perfect in every way that matters to the hearts of men." In the divine workshop, Hephaestus worked with unprecedented skill. His hands, scarred from eons of metalwork, now moved with delicate precision as he shaped the clay. Each curve, each feature, each strand of hair was crafted to perfection. When he breathed divine life into the form, she opened eyes that sparkled like captured starlight. But Zeus was not finished. One by one, he summoned the gods to bestow their gifts upon this first woman. Athena approached with threads of gold and silver, teaching the woman to weave tapestries that would make mortals weep with their beauty. Aphrodite kissed her lips, granting her a charm that would make strong men fall to their knees. Apollo blessed her voice with melody that could soothe savage beasts. Demeter taught her the secrets of hearth and home. Finally, Hermes, the messenger god, stepped forward with a gift that glittered like poison in sunlight. "I grant you curiosity," he whispered, "an insatiable need to know what lies hidden, to open what is closed, to discover what is forbidden." "And I name you Pandora," Zeus declared, "for you are the gift of all the gods. But you, my beautiful creation, are no gift at all. You are vengeance incarnate." Zeus presented Pandora with a wedding gift, an ornate box of burnished bronze, its surface etched with symbols that seemed to writhe and shift in the light. Strange sounds emanated from within, whispers, moans, and the flutter of countless wings. "This is your dowry," Zeus told her, his voice honey-sweet with false kindness. "But remember, dear child, you must never, never open this box. The contents are not meant for mortal eyes." Pandora's fingers trembled as she touched the lid. The curiosity Hermes had planted in her soul immediately began to bloom like a poisonous flower. What wonders or terrors lay within? What secrets were too dangerous for her to know? "I understand, great Zeus," she replied, though her voice wavered with the strain of restraint. "The box shall remain sealed." But Zeus smiled, for he knew the nature of the gift he had given her. Curiosity, once planted, grows like a cancer in the soul. Hermes escorted Pandora to Earth, where Epimetheus, brother to Prometheus, beheld her with wonder. The Titan, whose name meant afterthought, had been warned by his brother never to accept gifts from Zeus. But when he saw Pandora, her beauty more radiant than the dawn, her voice sweeter than nightingale's song, all wisdom fled from his mind. "She is perfection itself," Epimetheus whispered, his heart already lost. How could accepting such a gift bring anything but joy? The wedding celebration echoed across the valleys, for mortals had never witnessed such beauty. Pandora became the first wife, the first woman to walk among men. She learned to bake bread, to tend gardens, to make a home filled with laughter and love. But always, in the corner of their dwelling, sat the bronze box. Day and night, it called to her. She would find herself standing before it, her hand reaching toward the lid, before forcing herself to turn away. The whispers from within grew louder, more insistent. "Open us," they seemed to say, "free us." What harm could come from simply looking? For months, Pandora resisted. She threw herself into the joys of mortal life, learning to love her husband, to find pleasure in simple things. But the curiosity burned within her like a fever, growing stronger with each passing day. On a morning when Epimetheus had gone to the hills to gather herbs, Pandora found herself alone with the box. The whispers were louder now, almost like songs. Her hands shook as she approached. "Just a peek," she whispered to herself. "Surely Zeus would understand. How can I be a proper wife if I don't even know what my dowry contains?" The bronze lid was heavier than she expected, but as she lifted it, she felt a terrible joy, the ecstasy of forbidden knowledge finally revealed. For one brief moment she saw the contents, a swirling mass of darkness, shapes that hurt to look upon, entities of pure malevolence. Then they erupted from the box like a plague of locusts. The first to escape was Death, a gaunt figure whose very presence withered the flowers in Pandora's garden. Behind him came Disease, her body covered in pustules and sores. War thundered forth on his black horse, followed by Famine, whose hollow eyes promised starvation. Hatred slithered out like a serpent while envy fluttered on poisoned wings. Greed grasped at everything with skeletal fingers. Pain, suffering, despair, all the evils that had never before touched the world, poured forth from the box in an endless stream. Pandora screamed and slammed the lid down, but it was too late. The evils spread across the earth like wildfire, touching every mortal heart. In distant villages, people suddenly felt the sting of jealousy, the burn of hatred, the crushing weight of despair. The golden age of innocence was over. But as Pandora wept over what she had done, she heard a gentle voice from within the box. Unlike the harsh whispers of the evils, this voice was warm, comforting. "Do not despair," it said. "I am hope, and I remain. Though you have released great suffering into the world, you have also preserved the one thing that makes that suffering bearable." Pandora's hand hovered over the lid. Should she open it again? Could she trust this voice when the last opening had brought such catastrophe? "I will remain here," Hope continued, "always available to those who seek me. In the darkest moments when all seems lost, mortals will find me. I am the gift that makes all other burdens possible to bear." And so Hope remained in the box, neither fully released nor completely contained, a promise that even in the darkest hour, light might yet return. When Epimetheus returned to find his wife weeping and the world forever changed, he understood the magnitude of what had occurred. The age of innocence was over. Mortals would now know suffering, but they would also know courage. They would experience despair, but also hope. As for Prometheus, Zeus's punishment was swift and terrible. The Titan was chained to a rock where an eagle would devour his liver each day, only for it to regenerate each night, eternal torment for his compassion. But perhaps the cruelest irony was this. In trying to punish humanity for accepting the gift of fire, Zeus had given them something far more precious, the knowledge that even gods could be cruel, and that hope, however fragile, could survive in the darkest places. Pandora lived the rest of her days carrying the weight of her choice. She had brought evil into the world, but she had also preserved hope. In the end, perhaps that was the most human thing of all, to carry both the burden of our mistakes and the possibility of redemption. The box sits still, in legend and in memory, a reminder that curiosity comes with a price, but that some prices are worth paying. For in opening what should have remained closed, Pandora had made humanity truly human, capable of both great evil and great good, forever balanced between despair and hope.